Source for the best deals and newest products for truck and Jeep. Shop new suspension from Fox, Rubicon Express, Procom, and Rough Country. Save up to $150 plus free installation from Airlift Performance. Shop the all-new 4WP factory wheels and exclusive Method 305 NV. And save up to $300 on tires. With 3 ways to shop: free pickup in-store and installation on everything we sell. 4-Wheel Parts, the truck and Jeep experts.
22 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks, the leader in off-road shock technology.
RJ, you got the green light.
Following Rigid's legendary quality, the all-new Adapt E-Series has a seamless beam transition and an integrated active power management system that will constantly monitor your vehicle's battery state. The Adapt E-Series will make adjustments to the light output, maximizing performance based on the vehicle's capacity. Designed with 3 unique optic combinations for close-range, slow-speed driving, moderate speeds, and long-range, high-speed driving, a seamless beam transition is achieved through an internal GPS, automatically adjusting optic zones and beam paths based upon the vehicle's speed. The Adapt E-Series, the next evolution in off-road lighting.
Everybody yearns for something. Few have the drive to reach out and take it. We build for those with the conviction to stand up straight and demand what they want out of life. We champion those who refuse to see the world as it is, but what it could be. We know what we're building for. What are you building for?
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Fishgistics. Of course, if you're watching now, you could be live on Fish's page, and maybe you're watching a little bit later, but we're here to have some fun, talk some opinions, bring you our thoughts about the Baja 1000 race course and what's to come. My name is Cameron Steele, 35-year off-road racer. I'll be hosting the circus here today. Just to my side here is the actual man himself, Fish. Rocking the new stash. I don't think I've seen that before, but Austin
the Voss tribute.
Voss tribute. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's Austin Farner, Fish. That's very good. And then one-upping Fish on his mustache is Alan Ampudia there with the full chops going on. I like it. Good style. Of course, last year's Baja 1000 winner. And then our perennial favorite off-road race driver, guy that you always got to, he's gonna draw on the mustache. He doesn't really have the mustache thing going, neither do I, but he's got good hair, which is awesome. He's got a lot of hair. That stuff's going to be around for a while. Rob MacCachren, 4-time winner of the Baja 1000 overall. And then we've got this guy named Jose G, who happens to be the race director for SCORE, and he brings us some fun courses, some adventure, and all kinds of other things. And I would like to say that you're a great race director. Rob and I have talked about it in the past. We both agree, as do many of the other people in the sport. Thank you, Jose G, for all your efforts. It's much appreciated. We're talking about the Baja 1000, people, but before we do, Rob Mack, we talked about, he has won 4 Baja 1000s overall, a couple of those with Jason Voss. And most of you guys know Jason was involved in an accident, the Best in the Desert Parker race this weekend. I have a statement from the family, but you know, that's gut wrenching to see anybody crash, Rob, especially someone you're friends with, someone you've teamed up with. I'm sure that one stings a little bit to see.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I wasn't at the race. I was there Friday to go through tech and stuff and talk to some people, but we missed it. And then I heard quickly, you know, got a couple texts from some people that helped support our team that Jason had crashed and he was hurt pretty good. So we reached out pretty quickly and tried to, you know, support any way we could, and found out pretty quickly that he was in pretty bad shape and wasn't going to be able to race with us at the Baja 1000 this year.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer. I was actually filming live for Fishgistics. We were on the air following Kyle Jurgensen when we heard it come across the helicopter comms. We went back. I didn't film the crash site and actually cut off the feed because obviously it looked pretty serious. I do have an update from Jason's family. I'll just read verbatim what I got from Justin Smith. He said this is from his mom and his wife, the information. Anyway, Jason had his second surgery on his arm this morning to fix his wrist. All went good, and he has some fancy new hardware. He's been up and walking around in his room and getting really antsy to leave. He will have to wear a neck and back brace for the next few months. He's feeling better every day. We can't thank everyone enough for their continuous prayers and support. We're so lucky to be a part of the off-road family. End of message. That was that came to me from Justin Smith, aka Bean. They're married to sisters, so they're very close. Good news to hear that Jason's been up walking around. Obviously some tough injuries. That was a huge crash. Would be pure speculation to say how fast they were going, but I think it's not outside the realm of possibility that you could get going coming out of that start straight over 80 miles an hour. I think you'd agree with that, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's about right. Agreed.
So big tumble there. Fish, I know you were out of town, but I'm sure you saw the videos. It's a pretty horrendous crash.
Yeah. Everybody within a couple minutes, you know, I had every angle sent to me, and some people were like, "Oh, why aren't you posting it?" It's like I don't post videos like that when someone's hurt. You know, if everyone's okay, I have no problem posting the video. You know, crashes obviously get a lot of attention, but I didn't post the video because I knew he was hurt. So yeah,
same. Yeah, Fishgistics actually, we deleted the feed that we had going because you might have been able to hear helicopter comms or something in the background. So we didn't film any of that, but we're really stoked to hear Jason's doing good. We're super bummed that he crashed. Speaking of crashing, some other donkey crashed this weekend too. We have that on our social media at Desert Assassins if you want to see, but I did do a 1 3/4. Of course, as always, blame my navigator, but this time it wasn't Cody Stewart. It was actually Mike Kim from Fox, the tuner, and I believe that was his first trophy truck ride. So we gave him the full treatment. I think he's going to be appreciating that in the long run. But
I did. Speaking of that, real quick, I was looking at Race Desert, and I just noticed this. Like, this is the article. I don't know if something happened when they were doing the article, but this is the article on Race Desert right now. So I just thought that was a little interesting there. Maybe the photography, you know, his tripod fell over or something. I don't know.
That's super appropriate. I'm all good with it, man. I told Jimmy Lee Cook, who was doing our edits, I'm like, hey, you know, we crashed. You got 3 or 4 angles on it. Put it together. Let's put it out there and have some fun with it. It is what it is. We haven't crashed since 2013, right, Alan? If you're going to crash, you may as well put the video out.
Yeah. I've been there before, so it happens to all of us. So,
yeah. Was it you driving at the crash at the Baja 1000 when we stopped to check on you guys?
Oh yeah, that was me.
That was a big one. So hopefully you got that in the bank for. Don't need any more of those for a while. Just leave that back there. But I'm crashing sucks.
Yeah, no fun.
No fun at all. Let's talk about the Baja 1000. First of all, let's talk to Jose G a little bit about, you know, the lead up to this. I know there's been a date change, been some speculation here and there about where the race was going to be. A lot going on. How about the current conditions? First of all, hopefully everybody's happy, healthy, and safe in your family, Jose G. I know you're, it's safety is a big part of your contribution to SCORE, and I just want to make sure and see how everything's going. But how did you come about to where we are, and where are we officially, so to speak?
Hey, Cameron. Well, first of all, thank you, and my family and myself, we're all doing good. All the SCORE team is doing great also. And I mean, we're really happy and stoked that the Baja 1000 is actually taking place as planned. So everything's going smooth. Everyone should know that the Baja 1000 will be go on as planned.
Right on. That's great to hear. The town of Ensenada and the surrounding towns that we'll be traveling through, everybody is happy about us coming, excited. What's the vibe like in Ensenada and further south, Jose G? I know you've been out on the course. I'm sure you've been talking to people.
Yeah, like it's the same deal as the Baja 500. San Felipe just loves us and loves all of you guys. It was something that they needed. We did the Baja 500, which we needed to do, and everyone wanted to race. I think that whoever went there saw that we did it. I think we all did a great job, racers and SCORE fans also. I think everyone kind of got together and we pulled off a great event. And we're going to do the same for the Baja 1000. Everyone's stoked, all the towns. I mean, they want as always, but now more than ever. I mean, everyone's been pretty tight with all the pandemic, and so this is going to bring a little bit of freshness and economy to their lives.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an important part of the economy. Alan, you can speak to that. I'm sure you guys have had some restrictions with your businesses. You guys being from Ensenada, I know Papas and Beer is your bar and restaurant and just an amazing place. But have you guys been able to operate, or are you guys on a limited operation?
Yeah, we're on a limited operation right now. We just thankfully opened up Ensenada. I mean, obviously you have to operate at 30% and all the safety measures, but at least it's open now after like 8 months or something like that of being completely shut down. And then the Rosarito one has been open now for like two months, I believe. So slowly getting back to normal, but good to have the doors open for anyone that comes down.
For sure. And I think that's great to hear that things are opening back up. Hopefully the COVID cases are continuing to drop or are maintained. And most importantly, that the fatalities are going lower and lower percentage wise. So anyway, let's talk about some positive information. Let's talk about this Baja 1000 because Jose G, you're a madman, which we all know. Rob, I'm sure you can agree. He always comes up with these new twists or different things. One wash that I don't think we've ever raced in, Scrambler's Wash. I saw some of Mark Burnett's footage on Fishgistics. Looks like we're pioneering some mountainside trails out there. And, Rob, I think new is always fun. Something different is always entertaining. But one thing I will mention, I think we'll ask Rob first, longest ever loop race for the Baja 1000, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Jose G has to make some kind of statement when he lays out the course.
I think, perfect timing, ultimately. We're all, excited to get back down to Baja to get racing. And I've been looking over the map and where it's going and seeing sections that I've never been on. That's always awesome. Some of us go to the press conferences that SCORE have right before the Baja 1000. And it seems like all the drivers get up there and say, this is the toughest Baja 1000 we've ever done. Well, they just keep one up in the game. And I've kind of commandeered the rest of the drivers and said, hey, we need to stop saying that. Stop, because they keep throwing more and more and more at us. So, but in the end, it's very rewarding when the track is difficult. It's long, it's tough, it's very demanding, makes a lot of memories. So that's what I really appreciate what Jose and SCORE have been doing. Every time we go, whether it's San Felipe, the Baja 500, the Baja 400, the Baja 1000, they're always, making it more epic. And, I really appreciate that. And, when you're successful, whether you're just finishing or winning the race, that you actually accomplish something. So it's pretty cool. I like seeing the map and all the new terrain. Man, there's a lot of stuff there. That's for sure.
Alan, what do you think about seeing all the new stuff? I'm sure you're just as happy about it to see something different, but being from Ensenada, maybe you've seen a little bit more than the rest of us at different times. I mean, I think we have a bit of advantage over at Desert Assassins because we spend so much time in Baja, and I'm sure the same is true for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I looked over the map and I hadn't noticed that we're not hitting Erendira anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, we're going a different route. And then we're doing a little loop down in San Quintin. So I'm excited. I haven't hit some of those sections either. So I'm excited to see what's out there.
We'll talk about the course here shortly. Jose G, the inspiration behind it. How does it come together? I mean, is it all you waking up at 2 a.m. going, I saw this on Google Earth. I wonder if we should try this. See if we get a tractor through here. Oh, wait, we don't need a tractor. We'll just send the race cars. It should be fun. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it goes. I mean, you've seen me here, and we're always, if we're not on the computer looking at new stuff, how to connect stuff, we're out there on the trails. And like you said, and if once you go in pre-run, you'll see that I kind of skipped the part about the bulldozing. You guys are going to clean a little bit of the course. And I think it's very interesting for everyone, especially like hearing it from you guys that've been out in the desert for so long, that to actually every race, even though if it's a little section or a big section or a few sections, have something new all the time. I think that's a key to keep this interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy personally that Rob MacCachren has not been on some of the sections of this course. I mean, he has been racing in Baja forever, so I don't even know how that's physically possible.
Well, I think that there's a couple things I can say about not being on some sections. I haven't been on them racing in the score races, but I did race the section out of Europan. I'm sorry. Yes, out of Santa Tomas, where we're going to the left out of that small village there. We did that on Baja Rally one time on motorcycles only, and that was cool to see something different. And we've used that on a couple trips, and also accidentally, courtesy of my friend San Felipe Bob, we ended up in that wash after Morelia Road, Zoo Road. We call it Scrambler's Wash because that's what Ox named, where Ox gave Scrambler his nickname. And that's the super tight wash. Is it still that way? I mean, super tight, lots of zigzags, or is it totally different?
The first section, the boulders are not there anymore because it was pretty much a motorcycle trail, and now it's not. It's a highway.
Oh, really?
There's still a few zigzags, but of course, knowing our fellow racers, they go from BCP to BCP. It'll be a straightaway.
Who would do that? Who would do something like that? Alan Ampudia.
That's not my section. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll do it then.
We blame it all on Rob, but really we know it's all Luke's fault. but yeah, so I'm excited about some of these parts of the course. Let's talk a little bit more about it. We'll get into some of the COVID restrictions and some of the things that are going to happen with tech and contingency a little bit later. What do you guys think? We should throw
pull it up?
Talk about it? Let's get it going,
Yep,
Fishgistics.
pull it up. All right, here we go. We're going to bring up the Google Earth. Here we go.
And Jose G, has it changed at the start now? Because originally in the map, it looked like we were doing something a bit different. Has that changed? Where are we at now with our race course coming out of town?
No, that's exactly because we're not starting pretty much in town like other years. That's exactly where we're going to start. This year we left the full file, the full course. It's not open for pre-running. There's a bunch of gates that are closed, but we will open them the week of the race. But anyway, we're starting what was before like race mile 5 on the new highway. That's wide and big enough for all our operation, and we can control spectators there. That's why we picked that area, and also the city recommended that area because it was the one that was easiest to access it, and there's plenty of parking. And like I said, we can control it, we can fence it out, and we can do pretty much like we did in San Felipe for the Baja 500, and do a good job keeping people away from our racers away from exposing them to people that could be sick or something.
Right. Yeah. The least amount of exposure, I think, is a great idea for everybody. Then we're going to go out of town, traditional style, it looks like, as we start to scroll out. There's always a tricky speed zone in here for people. And the speed zone, is that still existing there? How far out does the speed zone?
Right before mile 5, it looks like.
Yeah. And actually by this weekend, that file's we're gonna update because we've been having some meetings. Speed zone 1 might start just a little bit before that. We'll of course let you know if we do that change. But past that, everything's the same to Ojos Negros. Actually, past that, there's no tricky or no new things to European.
Oh, right on. Okay. How does that, so coming into Ojos Negros, obviously at the Blue Gate, there'll be a speed zone somewhere in there as well.
It starts earlier also than normal.
Okay.
So one right here, it looks like mile 25 or so. There's the end of the speed zone, so it's a little bit before that where it starts, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, that end it's also the start for speed zone 2.
On this file, it says end speed zone, but I think that's actually the one when you come back in, huh? So it's start and the end. Yeah, got it.
So racers, if you're paying attention, remember this is all just theory and opinion and thoughts. We're going to be giving you all this information. But Jose G obviously is the man. You're responsible for your own race, speed limits, all that stuff. You guys need to check in. You need to read the driver's bulletin. You need to go to, pay attention to the driver's meeting, however that's done. Rob, it can be tricky here going in and out of town when you're following these speed zones. It's something that even a seasoned veteran can get mixed up on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of times, you pre-run and you're trying to make sure you know where it starts and ends. And it always seems, even during the race, I'm like almost arguing with the co-rider. Are we in it? Are we in it? Did it end? And so on and so forth. But it definitely helps a lot, these speed zones through the towns. And I can't even believe we used to race through these towns and on the highways at unlimited speeds. And those were honestly crazy days. But I really welcome these speed zones and especially going through the towns and stuff. But they're definitely at times, very concerning and get you, on edge. So.
One question real quick before we go a little further. A couple of people had Jose G. How is everyone to get their race car to the start? Should they trailer it over to there, or is there going to be a staging area? How are people going to get their car to the start?
Yeah, there's going to be a staging area. We have plenty of space for this one. That your race car could be trailered, and you can offload and then enter into our fenced area. So we're going to provide the map pretty soon on how to get there and what the access would be, and you'll have all that information in no more than a week.
So before we leave here, Jose G, the speed zones both in and out are the same area. Is that correct?
Correct. The only one that's not the same is the first and last one, which is the same. But the last one, pretty much the last speed zone, once you're in it, it's speed zone all the way to the finish line.
Okay. So you will be on controlled speed all the way into the finish line. There is no acceleration. And once you get into that zone.
Yep.
Copy that. Good information. So that's some of the same courses that we've done over the years. We'll move on a bit now as we go through Ojos Negros. It looks like very similar stuff. Just caution everybody, when you're out pre-running, it's pre-running, not pre-racing. People live on these roads. These are ranch roads. The way I always say it, and Alan, I'm sure you can comment on this, that they don't build roads to nowhere. There's a reason why, even if you're on a remote 2-track, there's a reason why that road is there. And you got to watch out for livestock and pay attention to your surroundings and what's going on. Jose G, most of this is all things we've seen before. Is this the same outbound as the Baja 500?
Yes, it is. And one thing you just mentioned, I think we should talk a little bit about that, especially from the highway from kilometer 39 to where we start and then pre-running. That section, we've had accidents. People are going super fast in and out. We have traffic in and out to go to start pre-running, or they ended pre-running, and that's dangerous. As much as, I mean, we can put signs up and we can say whatever, but people are really not doing their job. And last I believe the 1000, there was a pretty bad accident, a head-on with one of our racers with a local. Those things just create problems. I mean, if it was just material, fine, but they can hurt or kill someone. So just kind of keep in mind that, like you said, those roads, people use them. We're pre-running, but they're not closed for locals. People have to go to the ranch and come back. And anyway, expect traffic all the time and respect. If it's that's why we're it's not considered a race course yet when you're pre-running it. It's just like a liaison from the highway to Rancho El Mezcal. It's pretty much like race mile 30. go slow. I mean, there's going to be traffic. There's going to be motorcycles finishing that are going to go out to Ojos Negros, and you can have an accident pretty easy there if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, unfortunately, there have been some bad accidents in that area in the past, and it's really important. I think, it doesn't, for those of you listening or watching, pass that information along to a few people, because that's a part of what our duty is as racers, is to be there and be respectful and not act like complete mules. Now, I'm going to bring up this whole Europan section. Alan, I wanted to tell you, I might have already said this on the air before, but when we raced with Ricky Johnson last year in the 4-wheel drive, we're like, oh yeah, we're going to, make some time up in here. And I was actually flying over you and Ricky and someone else, Tavo, battling. And I was like, holy heck, Alan is going crazy. And I told my engineer who was in the helicopter with me, I'm like, his truck ain't going to last this whole race if he's going to drive like that. There's no way. And then I remember being at race mile, I think 583, where I was going to get in the other truck because Ricky's truck failed. And I was like, holy crap, he's still going that fast. There's no way it's going to last. And I was like, damn. And then I know you had to stop. You stopped for some reason. I'm like, okay, it finally gave up. But then he started going again. I was like, damn. But good job, Alan. Don't do that again, okay? I think you should slow down a little bit and get out of the way for the rest of us.
Yeah, for sure. I'll make sure I let you all by.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you guys, on this traditional course going through Europan, is there a spot, Rob, that like you think about before the race, like, okay, or this is a sketchy corner, something that you remember every race that like kind of like spooks you a little bit, or you're not concerned about but you think about?
I guess you got me thinking on that one. Usually my mindset is in the race, especially from Ojos over Europan, is just don't make any mistakes, and don't go off the side of the road, don't get a flat, don't lose any positions. So I'm pretty cautious at the beginning of the race, and I can't specifically think of anything in there that that always worries me, or that
I used to say back in the days when we went through the old course where the rain ruts are all at, that used to trip me out a little bit. But on this new course, it gets me a little bit on the tight I think it's right after VCP 23. There's a tight turn on the side of the mountain right there where you can't really see anything. I think it's right after it, right? And it's just like you're right on the edge there, and you want to go fast, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go slow right here.
VCP 23. That's a rutted corner that I guess I always think about that corner and tipping over. Like, be careful, because that's part of we also qualify. We've qualified through there before, but you can almost see them there. The ruts seem to be
you can see them
two track and deep, and to the right side there, the direction we're going. That's it's actually a little bit of a cliff. Did Jesse Jones go off right there one time?
A little bit low. I think just a little bit lower down is where he went off on that sandstone there when you were qualifying for the 500. I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Alan, what about you? Is there a spot that you think about on this section before we get to Europan?
Yeah, before that, we're coming down a hill, and then it gets into like a little wash, and you come right back up, and there's like hinder on the side of the mountain. I always get scared because like the truck barely fits, and you don't want to hit the side of the mountain too much, because then you'll just like go up on it. But you can't go too far left because you'll go off side of the cliff. So that one always gets me, but I just go super slow and just kind of rub on the wall of the mountain. So that's the one I always think about.
For sure. I'm sure Jose G knows the name of that spot where we drop down under the trees and come up on the side of the mountain. Man, that is a creepy spot. Good point, Alan. I think that's even creepier than this turn we're looking at here. But moving along, we're going to get into Europan. Now, for those of you that haven't raced or haven't been around quite a bit, Europan is the home of Juan's Alcambro, a very friendly family restaurant and food service there, of course. No fuel, but right there where you come out onto the highway. Remember, be respectful when you get on the highway. How many people love to eat at Alcambro? I do.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get on the highway. There's a lot of speed zones going down the Pacific side, and they're not all the same speed, are they, Jose G?
No, I think this is the only one that's 60 mile per hour. I think I kept it steady at 37 for the rest.
And this is a newer section. I don't know if Score has raced on this or when the last time. Of course, racing out of Santa Tomas is a legendary location. When you're pre-running, guys, go slow through town. There's dogs and people and kids and makes dust, and just take it easy. But we're going to come up through the mountains up here. And what is the name of this rancho where we're going to make that redirection?
It's Ejido Nativos de Mexicali. It's not a rancho, that little village, but it's called Nativos.
Is that right here at the speed zone?
Yep.
And so it looks like there's a short speed zone going through there.
Yeah, they go very close through a ranch. There's a lot of people there, so they requested that speed zone. There's also some livestock there all the time. Hopefully for the race, they're going to lock them up. But that's the whole reason. Every time we come really close to houses or ranches, we try to be respectful.
For sure. So when was last time, or has Score ever raced on this section going back down to Highway 1?
We've always had it as an access road. We've never raced on it.
So, Rob, have you been on this road, or Alan?
No, I have not. I've only known that as the access road for a pit. So no, I've never been on that part of the track.
Nice. So something new and exciting. Always love that. I know there's a couple tight, or there used to be tight gates in there. Again, all opinion, theory, and thoughts. So you guys got to figure it out for yourselves. But comes back down to Highway 1. Interesting section. They've been building what looks like a winery down in there as we cross through, and then we'll pass the road to Arendia. And then where are we going to jump off?
Yeah, right past the bridge in San Vicente. That's where you make a hairpin turn down into the wash. We've done that before.
Nice. One of my dad's legendary stories, in his first Baja 1000, he blew his engine up there and bought an engine from a family sitting on the side of the road in their Volkswagen, and had his airplane pilot land and write them a check for it. True story. So when you jump in this wash, this is the wash that goes out to Arendia. On the right side here, there's actually some mission ruins. For those of you that have never explored that area, there's also a couple nice places to eat, restaurants in this area. Cool people, really, really racer friendly town. And then we're going to get out of the wash and jump onto the traditional, what is known as the Cerro Solo Road, correct?
Correct.
Head out to the coast to some of the most lovely bumps in all of off-road racing, dips and bumps. Alan, what about this road? This one ever scare you? It's got some drifting turns in it. Man, you can really raise the hair on the back of your neck on this one.
Oh, yeah. I like those, though. I love the graded roads. Those are my favorite.
What about you, Rob? I'm sure you can think about a couple on there.
Yeah, I've been off the road there once back in the no break.
That's not good. Don't do that again. I always make a joke when we go through there pre-running or racing. A rock on right. There's a rock that's maybe 25 feet tall right on the side of the road where the gate used to be.
Yeah.
So I'm a funny guy, in case you guys didn't know. Then we're going to come down to this intersection at VCP 31, and we're going to head south on what is traditional race course. Kind of it's a red whooped out dirt that we're going to access down through. Any changes in here specifically, Jose G, or any updates?
No, nothing. It's all pretty much the same.
And then we're going to go down almost to the Johnson Ranch. Or are we going through Johnson Ranch? I'm trying to look. Yeah, we're going through Johnson Ranch, but before the four corners, we're going to go up the side of the mountain, correct? And
yeah, that's right at VCP 38.
That's a section we've been racing through that valley and on top of those hills. That's a good slot car course up there, but man, that sure has gotten rough, and there's a lot of corners that sneak up on you in there. We'll come down to Highway 1. We're not going to go onto the highway, correct, Jose G? We're going to go underneath the tunnel.
Yeah, underneath the tunnel.
How's the silt looking right after the tunnel?
Well, right now there's no silt. Give it a couple.
How's the silt going to look on November 19th?
Horrible.
Oh, you think if the racers could just drive through there calmly, we might not turn it all up, but they don't.
You guys didn't pre-run 20 times, it wouldn't get turned up as much in your big 39-inch, 40-inch pre-runner tires,
Are you talking smack, Austin?
No, I'm just saying that's what happens,
I tiptoe through all those sections when there's silt or potential silt. I try not to be the one that makes it, but someone's out there doing burnouts.
I pin it.
Huh?
I pin it.
You're the silt
See,
maker.
Rob goes in his buggy, you know, lightweight, just floats over the top, nice, and just, you know, cruises through it. I'm sure, right, Rob?
Old school. Try to keep the silt gone. Don't pin it.
Right.
Wait till the race.
Yeah. Plus,
Alan pins it everywhere.
he's always racing. I love it. Into the Colonet Wash. There is a town there. You guys watch out for people. Lots of people come down by the race course there. And are we going to run the wash all the way down to the pavement or to the beach? I'm sorry.
Yeah, all the way to the beach.
Okay. Cut across some traditional sections there. This is all very similar stuff. There's obviously a bunch of silt here in some of these sections along the coast. What a beautiful race course. I would challenge, is there a more beautiful place to race a car in the world than that right there? I mean, that is just unbelievable.
Nothing like going 100 miles an hour with the beach on your right.
For sure.
Is this the Jesse Jones spot, or that's up north more, isn't it?
That was north. That was actually north of the Cerro Sola Road.
Yeah, that's
before
right.
we junctioned just south of Rendia. So this is where the course is kind of close together. Is this us drop? We get on the highway there at Camaloo and then drop back down into this wash out to the coast. Anything new or interesting in there, Jose G?
No, like I said, the course is pretty much the same all the way to San Quintin. What changes, or one of the new sections, is past San Quintin when you do that loop.
Right here, right?
Yeah, pretty sure some of you have not been on all of you have been on some of it, but there's going to be one section that connects both roads that no one's been on it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you, Cameron, on a bike, but we've never raced on it.
I'll never tell. But yeah, so this is what we would call the south part of the west part of the race course. Rob, I know that there's so much remote stuff in the mountains up here. This is a short loop, but still, you know, you always got to mind yourself when you get out in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely. And I know we've been on some of that, but I'm pretty sure, you know, almost half that loop I probably haven't been on before. And that's, again, what I'm so excited about. SCORE continually giving us new areas and new things to look at. So, again, hats off.
Awesome work, Jose G. And then we'll come back up onto, is it a wash we're going to come through? I don't know that I've been in that wash, and then hop up and over. Oh yeah, we've been in that, and then into the big wash as we continue to traverse to the north now on the west part of the race course. Now this, somewhere in here, there used to be an old fly-in hotel. I think it's up near the Santo Domingo Wash. Are you familiar with that, Jose G? Doesn't look like we're going to go by it anyway. It looks like we're going into the mountains. So I love it. There's some different changes in here, Abelardo, that we haven't done before. It looks like right in that section there before VCP 119.
No, that you have done before. If you keep going, once you drop down into Santo Domingo, we've done that before many times.
Okay.
What will change is after the Santo Domingo watch, you will see that you go into it's called Bramadero Ejido, and there's a ranch there. One good friend of mine, Raul Montes, he lets us run on his property, and this time he's going to let us use some trails that we've never raced on before. You'll see him when you go pre-running. That's pretty much all new and graded roads, like Alan is saying. He's going to love it. But every reward, you know, has its backside. So after doing all those fun things, all those fun roads, you're probably going to hate me.
Well, we thank Raul Montes. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We've gotten to know him a little bit, but it's great of him to allow the Baja 1000 to go through his property. Thank you very much to him and all the other ranchers that allow for this to happen, and property owners, I should say. So this is more fun, zigzags, different, good stuff, Jose G. This looks like a lot of fun.
Looks like it gets pretty tight up here. These corners look like they're fairly tight through this section.
Yeah, it is super tight. That road takes you to Mellings Ranch. Remember, we've raced through that before. That there's one uphill that's going to could be an issue, but then once you get to Mellings Ranch and then you go over to Coyote, that's when everything changes. It's most of that, it's all new.
Is that same hill that we've struggled with over the years, Jose G, going into Melling?
Yeah.
The silty hill that goes up kind of, I think it bends to the right a little bit. Is that right?
You drop down into the wash and then you have to go up to the right. Yeah, that's the one. But don't worry about that one. Worry about Coyote and going to Simpsons.
Oh, really?
That's right here, right?
Yeah, if you see, we're from El Coyote Ranch. We go back, like if we were going to Cuesta Blanca, we've done that before. But then you make a turn to the right there, and you guys have never done that.
Right here at VCP 151.
Correct. We've gone either down to San Rafael or to Cuesta Blanca, but now you actually go back to Coyote on that road, and that's going to be pretty interesting all the way to Simpsons. That connects to Simpsons. You've never been on it.
Wow, interesting. Is that old existing 2-track or something that's been put in more newer?
Old existing that was actually cut and was not passable. We just sent a D8 to connect it, and so people will see that it's freshly fixed. But then from El Coyote to Simpsons, that's the road that we connected. There, part of it was done, but has never been raced on before. So it could be challenging because it's still tight and it hasn't compacted yet the lot. So yeah, I think that if we're going to have some problems, it's going to be in that area. So we have to prepare for that. Racers and us, we have to prepare for it.
For sure. I mean,
so that's around the mile. This is mile 360 right here. That video that I posted was around right here. So this is that section that he's talking about.
So is that an area where there's really no visible trail in some sections there?
It's totally visible. The one that the Fish was saying I think was the other one that it's not so visible. That's once you pass Simpsons. That's not going to be a problem. It's just the bushwhacking there. But anyway, from El Coyote, when you get down to Simpsons, that's I think if you made it there, you have a good chance of finishing.
You're so mean.
Wow.
Terrible person. So is this Simpsons coming up here? Is this
what mile is Simpsons at?
Well, if you can zoom in and you can see it right about I'll tell you what mile it is. That's all new.
Yeah.
That's mountain's all new, and it's just never been on it. But like I said, once you get down to Simpsons and you see that we're getting to Valley T in a totally different way. We've never been raced on before, so we're pretty excited. Once it's more driven on, once pre-runs, it'll be more obvious, and there's no other way to go. But you're gonna love it. Some of it is just a little bit tight, and then it's all wide graded roads all the way into Leandro Valle, and then we go down to Valley T. In a bit, some of them are it's a little bit different also. Next year it'll be very different to get to Valley T. We're just trying to make it so that we're trying to be away from the main roads, and so to keep away from accidents.
Yeah, we like keeping away from the main roads. Question. Yeah, check this out. Who is it? Is that your grandson?
It is. My daughter and my grandson just came into the office to visit. So
very cool. Family first. I love it. Hey, going down Simpsons, is it the traditional downhill that we're going to be doing?
Yep. But you only do to get to Simpsons. You're going to skip a lot of it. You're going to get to it from a different way. So it's not the traditional way to Simpsons, and you're not doing everything. You're doing like 3/4 of it. So we're connecting to Simpsons. Like I said, you're only doing 3/4 of it. Once you pre-run it, you'll see it. It's pretty cool if you get there.
I'm waiting a couple days, letting the kids beat it all in before we get there. And then a different way.
You keep saying if you get there, so it's not sounding very well.
So a different way into Valle Trinidad. Of course, everybody nice and easy in Valle Trinidad. We're going to get on the highway there. What mile marker is that now at Valle Trinidad? Is that still at around 400?
412 or so?
412?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Well,
yeah, 410 is right in town, and then the highway looks about 412.
410 is right before town.
Yep.
Okay. Down the highway.
Speed zone.
Highway 3 that connects Ensenada and San Felipe. Down through the wash there. As we take a look, this is the.
And you jump off.
This is not the Valle de Sol Road, though. This is a different spot. We've used this before, but we are staying off the big graded road, correct? Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me, Jose G, but we're just staying off the graded road there and going around the side of that little black mountain.
Yep, that's correct. We're not using the graded road.
So what about you, Rob? We've just gone through a bunch of mountains. Are you excited to be in the low desert, finally pounding some bumps?
Yeah, absolutely. And all that new twisty stuff back to my Simpsons, it's also going to get dark on us in there too. So I think the trophy trucks will be somewhere in that range before Trinidad with dark. So a lot of good stuff, tight twisties. And then we get this break on the highway there coming down to Valle del Sol Road. So, and now we get to the desert, which, I like San Felipe.
Yeah.
So question for you guys in general. Where do you think a lot of people are probably doing 2 drivers for this race? Where do you think a lot of people are going to go to? Are they going to go to Valley T somewhere in there and then probably do a driver change, or what are you guys thinking?
For me, there's multiple strategies here, and every morning I wake up, I have a different strategy. So you could do 2 drivers, 3 drivers, depending on which class. Trophy truck, probably 2 drivers, and the guy could start and finish or go halfway or go more than halfway. There's a lot of options here. And, later in the course, I'm going to ask Jose G why they cut out from the original map. They cut out getting out close to the highway. Later we'll ask you why did that change.
Because he's mean, Rob. I can tell you right now. It's just because he's mean. He's ornery. It's a little bit rotten, just the way Jose G is. Alan, I think that's a good question, Alan. What are you and one of your brothers, or both of your brothers?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do the same as we did last year. Obviously, the mounts are gonna change, but probably I'm gonna start and finish. I think that's the move we're gonna do, and then Aaron will drive the middle.
Copy. Give him all the fun bumps.
Oh yeah, all the fun rust stuff.
I love that. That's awesome. So this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be uphill in a wash until we get to VCP 185, correct, Jose G? And this is the same wash that we've been running a couple times recently in San Felipe.
Yeah, it's the same wash, and then the rest we did it at the Baja 500, so it'll be nice.
Copy. All this down through the back hills. I actually have not raced in here. And this will bring you down to the San Felipe area. This gets you that left turn at VCP 197. That gets you on the poles, and then a redirect out and around, bringing you to what's known affectionately as Zoo Road or Morelia Road. We'll cross there, race mile 505, if not mistaken.
Where you cross Morelia.
Any tips or hints about anything we just saw, Jose G?
Well, the road right before Morelia Road, that's the road that would take you up the mini summit. Some of you, whoever raced the 500 already did it. We haven't raced on that for a long time. And the plan for us is actually to fix the mini summit and make it passable again for probably next year. So that's we're working on that also.
Wow, that's a pretty gnarly statement. I think I heard before the last time we raced the mini summit was in 1994. So that's going back a few years. This is the wash I was talking about where Ox had given Scrambler his nickname at the beginning, lots of zigzags and stuff. But you say it's been opened up a bit by the cars and people traveling through there, and probably the rain traveling through there as well.
Yeah, the first section of the wash is it's wide. Actually, the city did some fixing there, and they sent a bulldozer to kind of move a few rocks. So it's totally passable now. After that, there's some zigzags, but I'm sure there won't be after pre-running. And that wash will connect to Amarilla's wash, which we raced before. And it'll be pretty cool because you won't know where you are. Well, you have been on a bike there, but people that haven't done it, they're going to wonder where that takes you, and that takes you to Amarilla's. And then we connect with Chanate and Automotive, same thing that we did last time.
Yeah, really cool. I love it. It's a lot of remote washes, but I think a pretty interesting strategy on your part. And then one of those really legendary parts of the race course, synonymous with names like Ojos Negros and Tres Hermanos, and going into the Matomi Wash, How does that look right now? Is it one of those years where it's super crazy tight rock crawl, or is it going to be one of those little bit more sand-filled years?
Right now, we're doing it downhill, and we just did it with Nate in the Raptor, and it's not a problem. Of course, Nate's a very good driver, and but no, it shouldn't be a problem. It's all flat right now. It's all good from the rains, and nothing. I don't expect any surprises there. And like I said, it's downhill. Everyone's a little bit spread out, so no bottlenecks there. Just in case someone gets hung over in a rock.
Well, I can attest that normally speaking, I try not to make mistakes, but when we were pre-running, I believe it was last year, San Felipe, we went up through there, and there was a tricky little spot right before the Narrows, and crawled up on one rock, and the truck turned sideways, and I actually was the bottleneck for pre-running for a while. It was quite entertaining to have 20 of my closest friends there heckling me and giving me a good hard time. Have you guys ever had any little bit of drama there in Matomi Wash, Alan or Rob?
Not really. I mean, it's scary when you first pull up to it and you don't know what you're doing, but once you get a good run at it and like know where you're going, it's pretty straightforward.
Likewise, I usually, if I'm concerned or something looks sketchy, usually stop and get out and walk it first. I've learned my lesson prior to that, so I never spent too much time in Matomi. But Cam, leave it to you to have a good party in Matomi.
Yeah, we threw down a little bit, just the way we do it sometimes. And that we're going to take Matomi out the traditional way to the highway. Is that correct, Jose G?
Yeah, that's correct. So you turn off at the Old Puertecitos Road, and from there we're only on Old Puertecitos for a little bit, and then we switch over to the road on the east side of it. And it's just different things we haven't done before, and I think it's better than being on the eternal whoop road.
And it gets you out of the speed zone too early, right? Because the speed zone ends once you jump off right here.
Exactly.
That's still Old Puertecitos Road where we jump off. It's a little higher up where we change off of it. Hey, Jose G, I've heard rumors over the years, and God bless him, Oscar, who's now passed. We had talked about speculation that maybe someday the new highway would connect down what is Old Puertecitos Road. Have you heard anything about that? Is that anything? No, they're going to stay on the regular highway. So they're going to leave us those whoops forever, for eternity.
Well, we're planning on fixing them actually. We've been having some talks. So there's some new things coming, different things coming for next year.
I've actually been a little surprised that the power companies haven't graded any of that, because that's actually their access road for all of those power lines, correct?
Well, they don't do any maintenance. That's why they don't know that it's in that condition.
Gotcha. I hear you. So then what mile do we jump off of Old Puertecitos Road? I know it's back there a little bit, just for reference. Right there at that left turn, is that it?
Yeah, well, you can see that's kind of like going towards the sulfur mines. And if you zoom in there, you'll see that the Old Puertecitos Road, that's the only section of Old Puertecitos Road that you actually get back on.
Oh, so we're already off, way down south then.
Right, already off. If you move over to the left, you'll see Old Puertecitos Road and how little we use it. There it is.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, it is.
I'm excited. New stuff is cool. Different stuff is always good. So this is going to bring us back up towards San Felipe. Anything tricky or new or different, Jose G, that we can expect near San Felipe?
No, actually that section, Alan already did it, and maybe Rob pre-ran it, but that was a section that we did for the Baja 500. So it's going to be the second time that we race on it.
Right on. San Felipe. Go ahead, Alan.
It's nice and smooth. No bumps.
No bumps at all. What's your favorite place in San Felipe, Rob?
Race course or
how about race course and in downtown San Felipe or in San Felipe proper?
I love all of San Felipe and move around to the different taco stands and restaurants, and really like Rosita's down on the end of the Melicon with Martine there. And yeah, it's all good. I've been going there a lot of years, way back in the late 80s with Walker Evans. So, and as far as the race course goes, all of it, the washes, always learning all the different lines, the trails, whether it's the washes or the whoops. And Man, I remember back in the day, so like 1992 Peninsula Run, coming into San Felipe and then using the old Portecitas Road. And it was just about a graded road with a little bit of washboard all the way down that you got on the highway. So, man, that's one place that's really, really changed. Another eye-opener, from way back in the past, I'm sure you'll agree, Cameron, is how much Matomi's changed over the years. It used to be, have a lot of trees in there and it was very overgrown. And, San Felipe many years ago got a ton of rain and it just wiped everything out. So incredible how the terrain and the landscape of those washes have changed from year to year. And it's amazing.
The massive wash through they had, I don't know if it was 4 or 5 years ago or whatever it was. That was amazing to go into Matomi the first time and see that. That was absolutely crazy. Alan, what about you? You got any favorites in San Felipe? No Papas and beer in San Felipe, right? So you got to pick someplace else to go.
No, we like to go to all the spots right there, all the seafood right on the Malecon and all the other taco shops too in town. We've been going down there for a long time as well since we were kids. And I don't know, as far as Coors goes, I don't know San Felipe as well as Aaron does, but I do like the whoops and like Rob said, all the different lines there are out there and all the washes and stuff. It's crazy. Like you think you know them all, and then suddenly one year you're just bounce into one. You're like, oh, where is this one going? And then it's kind of cool to like be able to choose all the different lines and not just stay on one single file track.
The interesting part for a lot of people with San Felipe, obviously there's cell service there. The sun will be coming up on some race teams in the San Felipe area. We've been doing some logistics for our other project, and we'll be talking about finishing late at night one, but some people will be talking about finishing in night 2. What is the time limit, Jose G, for the Baja 1000 this year?
40 hours.
40?
40 hours. 40.
Copy. Yikes. So after you see the lights of San Felipe and a little bit of civilization, you get to go back out into the bumps. I love the bumps and all the different there's a lot of intersecting stuff out there, guys. By the way, be very careful. Don't get off the trail and not know where you're at. But Cross Sioux Road again, and is this on the traditional route, Jose G?
Yes, it is. And that there's no changes there. Everything's pretty much traditional, crossing over El Chinero. And again, if you didn't raise the 500, north of El Chinero, there's a new section, and that's where we cut off a little bit from the original map. Cut off a few miles just to make it easier pit-wise, that people don't have to come up with another pit. I know getting people right now, volunteers to help, it's a little bit difficult with the pandemic, so that's why we actually cut the course a little bit to make it easier on the teams.
Copy that. So you'll leave El Chinero. You'll still do a smallish loop down by the sand, but you won't go out to the highway as was originally planned. Come out on Saldana there.
Have plenty of pitting space at Saldana, so we skipped going out to the highway this time.
Copy that. That's going to take you up and around the small range, and that's going to bring us to what is the proper name of this mountain? We just call it the Matterhorn because it's so big and ominous. What is the proper name?
I just forgot to tell you the name right now. Hold on.
Something like Corridor Molina, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We just call it the Matterhorn because it's
yeah.
I wonder
I'm trying to figure out what to call it.
Is there a Spanish translation for Matterhorn, Alan?
I'm not sure. You have to ask Grijalva. I don't know how to translate it.
Or right before going up to Cordillera Molina, it's different, and you go around the hill or a mountain there that it's called El Capirote. That's the name of it.
El Capirote.
Capirote, yes.
And the climb itself is called?
La Cordillera de Molina.
Copy that. And we're accessing it a little bit different than we did at the last year's race?
Totally, yes. You go around that. We haven't done that in, I don't know how long ago is that since we've done that loop to get to Cordillera de Molina. It's different. Once you pre-run it, you'll see that it's totally different.
Do you have a preference between this and the other way over the mountain that we use sometimes, Jose G?
Well, The thing is that this is long. I know it's long and rocky, but it's totally doable, and I can't. And you can do it up or down. If you try the summit, we tried it one year, and everyone complained that they couldn't make it up the hill. So the summit you can only go one way, and I don't like going up La Rumorosa. It's a little bit tricky, and some people are afraid of it. So that's why I only try to do. I'm only gonna try to do La Rumorosa going downhill next time, not up.
I'm afraid of La Rumorosa, just so you know. So if you're worried about my feelings, thank you.
You told me, so that's why we.
Yeah, I for some reason that thing makes me a little bit nervous. Justin Smith and I came down that in 2008. I think we raced down there. I was staying too close to the edge, like Alan was talking about earlier. Got myself a sidewall flat on the Rumorosa grade. Tell me how dumb that is. If you stay around long enough, you do plenty of dumb stuff, right? Like last weekend, right, Austin? You don't have the video ready to queue up of me crashing?
Oh, I don't, but I could get it up before we're done, probably.
Oh boy. So coming through the mountain, Rob, this brings us out into an area that we're more familiar with. I think this is going to be a little bit different maybe than we did at last year's 1,000. It looks like this is some remote stuff that a lot of people don't touch unless you're out there on the race course.
Yeah, well, once you clear the summit, you get on the same course that we had last year, but then you're off of that course and you get to kilometer 79 in a different way that hasn't been raced on for probably 20 years.
Is that the main road or is that a different road?
Road.
Say again?
A different road. Once you clear there's like a military checkpoint that you can barely see up in the mountains when you go up the summit or the Cordillera de Molina. And this time, instead of going to Santa Catarina, we make a turn to the right that, like I said, we've probably been on that, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. And it's not very, you can't even see where you're turning. And some people will remember it, but it's pretty cool. And like I said, it's different. And it takes you away from main roads and avoid accidents.
Can you believe that 20 years ago was 2000? I mean, that doesn't seem like that long ago, does it, Rob?
Absolutely not. 2000 doesn't seem like that long ago, but time is flying.
Time is flying by. There's no stopping it. Coming out to the highway, Jose G, will this be a traditional location or something a little different?
Yeah, when you come out at kilometer 79 and you go back in at 77, that's traditional. What's not traditional is that once you go in at kilometer 77, you only go in probably like 6-7 miles as the normal way, and then it changes. So you actually go all the way to El Alamo, which we probably did that in 2007, but that's a new way to get to the main road at El Alamo.
Hey, Jose G, do you know who won the Baja 1000 in 2007 overall?
The Baja 1000 in 2007?
Yes.
Can't remember right now. Who was it? You?
Not me.
I think it was the longest peninsula run there was.
Yeah. Was it 1,286 miles? Is that right?
I'm not sure the total miles, but it was the longest peninsula run there's ever been besides the Baja 2000.
That was Baja 1000. That was the Duralast truck, right?
That was year 2000.
Yeah, so Rob won in 2007 with Mark Post and Carl Renezetter in the Riviera truck, correct?
Yes. That is correct.
Throwing it back a little bit there for you.
Dan McMillan just answered your question. He just texted me. The answer is Mark Post, he said. So you got it right.
Tell Dan, thanks. Tell Dan. Hey, we can all tell Dan. Congratulations on winning the Baja 500.
There
awesome.
you go.
The only thing that would have been more awesome is that if Luke would have finished fourth in that race. But I think he finished third. They needed a little role reversal there. But congratulations, Dan. Well done.
Great job.
More, we'd have you on the show, but since we don't, we're just going to leave you hanging. But just kidding, of course. We're going to go out to El Alamo. Now, that's been someplace that we haven't been in a little bit. That kind of was a little bit closed off for a while there. Is that what was going on, Jose G, or just we weren't going into that down that one mountain pass to get in there?
Which mile are you talking about right there, Cameron?
Yeah, there's a few reasons why we weren't using it, and lots of new fences. It was quite of a mission to get permission to do that again, and we couldn't do the whole thing like we did before back in 2007. But as you can see, once you're out at the white graded road, we raced down to the old town, which is now almost like a ghost town. There's no one there anymore. That's where we have checkpoint 4. After check 4, it's the normal way that we would have done, like I said a long time ago, to go to Tres Hermanos.
Copy that. We'll go down through the pass in the past, obviously on top of the mountains, and then down into the wash, where at times going the other direction could get silty, but probably looks good now going downhill.
Yeah, and that uphill is called La Biznaga, and actually the road's in pretty good condition, racing condition, not for a normal vehicle, but it's good condition.
It's been a while since you've been over there.
Yeah.
That's going to bring us back towards Tres Hermanos and back to the side of the race course here, where we get back on the two-way section. And again, everybody, caution. It's not race course when you're pre-running. There's local traffic, but that brings the race course back into Ojos Negros. And will it be different than we did at the start, or everything will be the same?
It's exactly the same. Like I said, the only thing, once you get to Ojos Negros, the only thing different from the start is that this last speed zone, once you're on it, it's all the way to the finish line. Just makes it safer.
I don't disagree with that. There's no reason to come barreling into the finish line.
Sí, señor.
So that's pretty much the overview of the Baja 1000 course. Anything that we didn't talk about, Jose G, that you want to talk about on the race course?
No, I think you covered the whole course pretty well, and especially the part about being respectful with locals, going through towns, houses, ranches. I mean, that's our biggest problem when we go and negotiate or try to get permission. It's people are not afraid of letting us use their roads for racing, but pre-running, there's 3 weeks where they're afraid of going out, and pre-running's a little bit out of control right now with the speeds that everyone's doing it. So just asking for being a little bit more responsible and more respect to the locals. That would be my main thing with you guys.
Yeah, we can't stress it enough, and I think the same is true on the highways. I mean, chase crews, and when you're pre-running and everything, just slow down. Baja's a cool, chill place. There's no reason to be driving crazy. Just because you're in the dirt doesn't mean you're on some closed race course. It is not. Even on race day, the roads are open. Expect the unexpected, and that's something that you learn spending a lot of time down there. I hate to see when new teams come and they're all wound up and hauling ass around, and we don't mind calling people and telling them, hey, we saw your chase trucks driving crazy or whatever. I think everybody should do the same. You see my chase trucks doing something you don't like or whatever, you just call me and let me know. And we'll take care of that immediately. I don't think you'll see that out of our team or any of the teams here, but everybody, respect. Use your head. Rob Mack, looking at the course, what do you think? What sticks out in your mind? What area are you either thinking about, concerned about, or is it just really pit strategy at this point?
It's everything, some of that new section that Jose was talking about around El Coyote and tight, twisty, getting dark, race strategy, being patient, obviously, getting down to the desert. That's maybe where the race starts for a little bit. It's the Baja 1000. It's going to be a big one. It's going to take a lot of strategy, being patient. We got a lot of teams capable of winning. You got 3 winners on this show right now, the Baja 1000 recently. It's all about having a good truck, having a good strategy, having a good plan, stressing to your chase crews, like the safety issue, paying attention, and definitely, hopefully everything goes your way. And like you said, you commented earlier about Alan and those guys last year hauling the mail and sending it right from the start line. I had the same thing. I saw him that he was so far ahead when he came out of Mike's, and I was sitting down at Morelia Road. That's where I got in, and he came by, and I think he almost had it seemed like a 50-mile lead on the track. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to make it. Same thing. And, they got it. When it's your day, it's your day. And, I ran into those guys pre-running early. I seen them in that Can-Am just pre-running and free-running. And I knew, in hindsight now, they did their homework. They wanted it, and it paid off for them.
For
So,
sure.
Rob, who are you racing with, Rob? We need to know.
Are you available?
I told you I have to work, so I can't do it.
Okay, so you're out. Yeah. So
Yep.
We're working on that right now, and it's hard. I've been fortunate to have either Andy McMillan or Jason Voss drive with me since 2013. So I started out with a list of probably 20 names and just started going through them and trying to figure out who it is and getting narrowed down and I got to make a decision here quick. So, but no, it hasn't been finalized yet, and we're getting close.
Right on.
Right on.
Since you're out, Austin, man, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah.
What
now,
about
maybe Cameron or Allen's going to win or something. I don't know. You better find somebody really fast.
we're engineering for a podium and hoping that works for us in the end and puts us in position to be able to strike for the win. I'm driving with Bobby Picoy. He's been racing with our team for, I think, 6 years now. He's won some spec truck races, and he's been doing a great job in the trophy truck. So we're actually going to team up this time. We haven't done that at a score race, I don't think. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. But, yeah, so we're going to team up. I'm pretty excited about it. He's been working hard to get to that point. He's had some good top 10s and top 5 finishes. I think he's ready to win. And I'm excited about that. And Alan, you're racing with your brother, you said, and splitting it up again. Defending champion of the Baja 1000. How sweet does that sound?
Still unreal in a sense, but we're ready. We know what we have to do. And obviously it's a long race. It's very, very tough course. So it's going to be a little bit of being patient, like Rob said, and just trying to get through all those tricky sections. And hopefully at the end of the day, we're there in the fight so we can push for another win.
I would got the trophy right there behind him.
Oh yeah. Hey, what about that? Nice. I would normally push you to say, yeah, go ahead and sprint race it, buddy. But since you guys pulled it off last year, I'm like, that's cool. Just chill a little bit. It's all good. I was also just like Rob. I was at Morelia Junction. I was supposed to get in the car somewhere else, but the truck had failed earlier. And we're at Morelia Junction waiting for the Mudfest to show up. And we heard the call out on the radio, Ampudia, number 10 through Mike's Road. Okay. We were like,
radio must have quit. Radio
check. Yeah, we got you. Who else? Who's behind Ampudia? Nobody. 10 minutes later, hey, any trucks come through? Nope. Nobody.
There must be road blockage.
Yeah, then the scuttlebutt started. Someone started a rumor that they cut off a section of the race course up. I'm sure you heard that one, right? Yeah, so of course the rumors start flying and the innuendo and race talk. But yeah, again, congratulations, great run. I think you were 20 minutes ahead of the next truck at Morelia Junction.
I didn't even know.
We were the third.
I didn't even know I was that far ahead. Like I got out of the truck and I thought our Sierra was right on my butt because I passed him. He was pulled over. And I just thought that he was right on me the whole time. And then you guys were right behind me the whole time. So I'm like, I'm still trying to, get a good pace here. I've never led a race like that. After Rice rolled over, I was like, oh man, here we go. Now it's on us. We have like the pace. So when I got out of the truck, I was like, okay, like you said, 10 minutes went by and I was like, man, what the hell is going on? Where's everybody? And then Luke went by like 20 something minutes after, and we had him like by 12 minutes uncorrected time. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like I expected so many more trucks to come by, and then there was just Luke right behind us. So
yeah, that's a good lesson for people out there that there's a lot of attrition and a lot of things that go on out there. We were third at Morelia Junction, and I think non-corrected, we were like 22 minutes behind you. So it was crazy, unbelievable. But great job again.
Speaking of rumors during the race, I do want to say a big thank you to Jose because during a race, before the race, I get all these rumors all the time. And Jose is good about clearing up rumors. So thank you, Jose, for always answering the rumors. There's some crazy ones out there, for everything. So thanks, Jose, for always being up front and answering rumors.
Good time.
Let's talk a little bit about COVID safety and protocols and stuff like that. Jose G, can you tell us a little bit about what to expect and how everybody should act?
Yeah, it's very important actually. If you didn't go to we're gonna duplicate what we did for the Baja 500. You and your team members, everyone has to wear their face mask. We actually penalize people if they're not wearing it. We give them a warning just in case, and then the second time it's not a warning. And with us, we're not joking. If we're telling you you're penalized no matter what. Ahead of time. We have this COVID thing's not going away, and we don't know when the things are going to go back to normal. So we might still have another full year of races being under this COVID protocol. So as long as we can keep doing races, and if we have to do them like this, like I said, there's going to be no spectators, reduced the amount of people that will go into our areas, so that we need to let the racers know to be patient, because before we would have the whole ramp, like the finishing ramp, with a lot of people there celebrating. Now it's not going to be the thing. You're not even going to open the champagne now. So it's going to be very restricted for racers. There's no spectators, and like I said, just follow the directions and the rules we give you, and all the time be prepared. Bring your face mask. We have face masks there if you don't have them, but you have to wear them. Your team, everyone that walks in our areas with face mask without one, I mean, they're just putting you in risk of getting penalized. And getting penalized is not a problem, that you just lose the race, but we're trying to keep people from getting sick.
And then just to clarify, there is no contingency, like a normal contingency for this race either, right?
Correct. You're going to go through normal tech, and it's going to be in the same area. And you don't expect to see people, and you don't have to take stickers and throw them out to the crowd. There's not going to be any crowds. It's going to be very strict. Just go tech, get your trackers, and fill out your paperwork. Everything, registration, everything's going to be out there. We're going to have a huge tent with pretty much the same protocol as we had in the 500, social distancing, face masks, gel. We have checkpoints with people checking your temperature and all that. It's pretty serious, and we're very fortunate that we pulled it off, and we proved to everyone that we could do it.
The only good thing I can think of, obviously keeping people healthy and safe is good, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but not having a big contingency means that Coca-Cola stage won't be right behind my trucks at the San Nicolas for the first time in a long time. And man, that is one rowdy stage. So it'll be a little bit quieter for sure. But
one other change real quick. I did hear that BFG is, as of right now, planning on going down and having their normal pit support again for this race. You know that they didn't have it at the 500. As of right now, they are planning on having it at the 1,000. Obviously, something could change between now and then, but as of right now, they are go for pit support again. So that's good to hear. BFG will be back down there supporting everybody.
For sure. No, I mean, what a great asset for the teams that run for BF Goodrich to have that pit support and availability. We run all our own pits, but we'll still use the edge of their pit with their lighting and their infrastructure, their medic or whatever they have there, to make sure we're even more covered. So it's just a pretty amazing part of being on the BFG team, or even just running the BFG tires if you sign up for that pit service for sure. Ensenada in general, Jose G, getting food, the hotels, stuff like that. Do the teams need to be concerned? Should people be bringing more of their own food? Should they be thinking like that, or is everything food service is good, just more restricted?
It's more restricted, and Alan can vouch for that. It's the hotels, restaurants, supermarkets. They all have their own their safety protocols, and they're pretty strict. And so no one should be afraid of doing the basics. I mean, the hotels are good, restaurants are good. So I mean, if you go to the good places, I mean, just everywhere you go here, if they're open, there's a safety protocol, and the city has been really, and the state, they've been pretty serious about keeping things on track. So no, everything's fine. I mean, unless you go to nightclubs or other places that.
Yeah.
Top of the beer is a restaurant. You go to there, you get a restaurant to get food.
We're good. We're good.
Well, I hope this has been informative for everybody. Again, it's all just conjecture, theory, thoughts. People that have spent some time down there. Obviously, Jose G has all the inside track. Rob, before we close it out, any closing thoughts, any tips to newer racers, experienced racers, any thoughts you have that you'd like to share, or something going on with you?
Well, I went down to the 500 and witnessed the protocols, and I would say the people of San Felipe were doing a better job than we're doing up here, the restaurants and, you know, the social distance and all that. So I expect to see the same in Ensenada. And then with that being said, again, you hit on it a little bit earlier, just, you know, the race teams pre-running, you know, I see it over and over again. As many times years as I've been down there pre-running, I still see people, you know, driving crazy on the road into Ojos or, you know, the road out of Santa Tomas. And just, if you always remember that around every corner, somebody could be coming the other way, you know, and give them that space, move over to the right side of the road and slow down. I mean, be a little bit patient. And then also knowing that, you know, if someone is hurt out there in the race course, that, you know, it's not as easy to get help. So just be very cautious, pay attention. You know, Bob Bauer wrote a great letter that's always brought up around 1,000, you know, reach out and look at that letter. And I always tell my chase crews, you know, in our pre-race pit meetings, you know, that if you don't feel safe with the guy that's driving you or whoever's driving you, say something, you know, tell them, you know, slow down, you know, and everybody's got to look out for each other and you'll be safe. You know, we all love racing Baja. I love the people of Baja, and please be safe while you're down there.
Right on, Rob. We appreciate it. I think Bob Bauer's open letter to the race community is called "What About You," if I'm not mistaken. That's Alan, it. Any thoughts closing as we get ready to sign off here? Defending champion.
Well, like both of you said, just, you know, when you get everyone's pre-running, just be smart. Like I always, like you guys say too, like I always see people driving fast. When you know you're out in the desert and there's no way there's people there, there still could be people there. You be amazed at the people that can get in regular cars to remote places. And, you know, you never know when the person's coming the wrong way. And, you know, you just have to be smart about it. And going through towns and all the graded roads, they're there for a reason. They're not man-made for us at any time. So be smart about it. Everyone practice safe distance. If you're feeling sick, your chase crews, stay at home. You know, just be smart about it. Wear your mask and, you know, just be safe and have fun.
One thing that we haven't spoken about when it comes to safety, it's really important thing that really drives me crazy. Chase teams and pre-runners and even race vehicles, make sure you turn off your off-road lights when you're on the highway. You have oncoming traffic. One of the things I see a lot of is people with their light bars on. Maybe they're not paying attention, don't remember it's on. It's on you. And highway safety is a huge part of it. And having all those lights on is just terrible. Put your low lights on when you're going by somebody. But just be aware that people are out there and they don't want to be blinded by those lights, and just, you know, be respectful of everybody on the road. But the lights, man, the lights are so good nowadays off road, but you're not supposed to use those things on the highway. So please don't do it. Jose G, anything in closing from you?
Oh, no, just thank you guys for trusting us and coming down to Mexico. Trust me, it's all good. Follow the rules. And one thing you can't expect is that this is going to be the toughest Baja so far.
How did we know that was going to happen? Oh boy!
Just when he was, you thought he was done. You threw it in there again.
Ish, you got something to close us out on?
Just one other note. If you guys remember at the 500, I told you about that guy Calvin that had the Google Map file you're able to put on your Lawrence thing. He has it again for the 1,000. So I'll make a post about it maybe tomorrow. But it's really cool and it helps out on the course. I would definitely load the Google Earth onto your Lawrence that everyone uses if you use those. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm planning on trying it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm planning on trying it. I got an email from him, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Perfect.
All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for this warm-up, wrap-up to the Baja, or warm-up to the race course for the Baja 1000. Is this the 52nd running?
Third.
53rd running of the Baja 1000. It's looks like an exciting course. Remember, be safe, be smart. Remember, this is all just opinion and conjecture. Do your own pre-running, do your own thinking, make your own plans, be safe. Expect the unexpected. If it seems like a bad idea, it probably is. So don't do it. That's what I always say on our moto trips. If it seems like a bad idea, don't do it. And I think that's going to do it for Jose G, Rob Mack, Alan Ampudia, Fish. I'm Cameron. We'll see you next time Fishgistics comes jumping into your homes on your computer. Bye.